All right, I was told to peep Abba and Preacher's video about the whole Kirk situation, bro. It's titled "It Only Gets Worse." So let's see what they is talking about.
Charlie Kirk. We didn't. We're what 7 days after?
7 days.
Craig David. So. Oh, are you guys cracking jokes? Yeah, that's what we do. I don't. I think the easiest way to start this video, and I think the thing where most of us agree is that political violence should never be acceptable. The idea that you might have the most reprehensible views, the most disgusting things, you should have the right, and you should be safe enough to be able to espouse those views without losing your life. After his assassination, the main thing I took away, most of what I've seen after the fact is folks trying to figure out whether or not this guy's right wing or left wing, so they can pit blame on the other side.
100%.
I've seen people call for violence. I've seen people have this rhetoric of us versus them.
Good to fight back against evil. It is time for the righteous to prevail.
I know we don't have a lot of time. There's so many good speakers tonight. This is a battle between good and evil. I wish we could compromise, but you can't compromise with evil. You can't compromise with evil.
I've seen people be like, well, the other side is the one that does it. And I think all of that really defeats the purpose of trying to make the world more safe, right? Because we got here, I feel as though this was a long time coming. And what am I saying a long time? We've been here for a long time. There's been a lot of political crime, a lot of political killings over the last 8 to 7 years. Bombing of abortion clinics.
An Irvine man has been sentenced to 6 years in federal prison for the 2022 firebombing of a Planned Parenthood clinic.
Different politicians who've been attacked, either attempts or assassinations that were completed on both sides, be it Democrats or Republicans.
Sources telling ABC News that 2 Minnesota state lawmakers have been shot, and when law enforcement officials say was a targeted incident.
There have been extremists and crazies who've gone out and murdered people on a semi-regular basis for the last
So I'm gonna go ahead and stop. I don't like this. Every time people do these things, it's like saying, but. What happened to Charlie Kirk was terrible, but. So now, whatever you said in regards to how you feel sorry about what happened to Charlie is relevant, bro, because you're trying to minimize what has happened to him because other things has happened. These ain't got nothing to do with the other, right? These don't have nothing to do with the other, bro. Yeah, shit happens. Car accidents happen every day, right? We're gonna minimize somebody just that lost their life because of this particular car accident. And Kirk's situation had the impact it has, bro. And I don't even like him trying to demonize Matt Walsh and whomever that girl is for saying good versus evil. There absolutely is good versus evil, bro. But if you're interpreting it as good versus evil, meaning the right and the left, that's on you, right? Because there's a bunch of us that just look at it for what it is, good versus evil, regardless of what side it's on. These demons, these extremists need to be highlighted and just cut out. The cancer needs to be cut out, bro. Ain't no talking to them. And it needs to be, get these motherfuckers out of here. It is war because ain't no talking to them. Ain't nothing you say to them. They need to be deterred. They need to be controlled. They need to be exiled, decapitated, whatever your cup of tea is, bro. There's no talking, bro. Like we're at it. You know what I'm saying? When you see a man, I ain't want to bring it up, bro. That shit is tragic, dog. It's tragic, bro. All these other things you're talking about ain't got nothing to do with Kirk. Kirk was taken out the way he was taken out in front of millions on the college campus, in front of his family, and that can continue to be played on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. The impact that has had on his people. No one was meant to see that, bro. We can talk about a story that's happened. We can get a news report of something that's happened, bro. But when you actually see it, you see that man die the way that he did, bro. No one was meant to see that, dog. That's like some faces of death type situation, bro. But we've gotten desensitized to the point we're going to throw this in the pot with everything else that's happened, from political violence or whatnot, dog. It ain't the same. It ain't the same. And even if they was the same, we don't need to be comparing this to everything else that's happened. Because you minimizing that. You demonizing people for feeling a certain way about this. Anyway, let's continue. I already see where we're going, bro. You're going to minimize somebody just that lost their life because of this particular car accident. And ain't no talking to them. They need to be, get these motherfuckers out of here. It ain't no talking to them. Ain't nothing you say to them. They need to be controlled. They need to be controlled. They need to be controlled. And even if they was the same, we don't need to be comparing this to everything else that's happened. Because you minimizing that. You demonizing people for feeling a certain way about this. Anyway, let's continue.
that I've been looking at it and paying attention. Anybody who sits out there and goes, well, the lefties are the danger. In fact, this year, I feel like you guys killed quite a few politicians, for that matter. There's been Trumpers who've done that.
Over the past 24 hours, I've seen some in the media, some of the very same people who intentionally stoked murderous hatred against people like Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk's.
Yeah, y'all got to let me know in the comments or send me emails or whatever, man. I want to see videos or just reports of this amount of people celebrating someone's demise. Like, was there anybody out here celebrating the Democrats' murder? I mean, was there anybody out here? I'm sure there was people out here celebrating the CEO of United Healthcare. I'm sure people were celebrating his death, dog, because talking about healthcare, and that's a whole different conversation. That has impact. That has literal impact on people. Politicians has literal, tangible impact on people by what they do and what they say can affect you by what you decide to do with your life, man. But with the Kirk, it's just about speaking and how his words influence those, bro. He ain't got control over what people do to his words, man. It's not the same thing. Kirk wasn't no politician. He would have been a politician, but he wasn't given that chance.
Specifically, now saying that we need to turn down the temperature and start having conversations. Well, Charlie tried to have conversations with you on the left, and you killed him for it.
The same way some Trumpers decided to go kill those Minnesota senators, right? They weren't out there advocating violence. They were at their homes, and this guy showed up to kill them and try to kill them.
It's not a fair comparison, bro. These are senators, bro. They have literal impact on laws passed that are going to impact. And I'm not advocating for what happened to them. What happened to them was disgusting, and if I had known when it had happened, I would have covered it as well, bro. I just didn't know. Everybody's in my DMs and commenting on me. Where was all this energy with the two Democratic, the two senates in Minnesota, bro? I had no idea, bro. I had no idea, dog. Evil is fucking evil, no matter how the fuck you slice it, bro. But we cannot compare the two. We cannot compare the two. They didn't get assassinated in front of everybody for the world to see. Little kids didn't see that. You know what I'm saying? The whole world didn't see that. There wasn't a surplus of degenerates out here celebrating that online for the whole world to see, going viral for it, with millions of likes and millions of comments on these videos, people celebrating this man's death because of what he said, dog. It's not the same. And yet again, he's minimizing it, bro. We can't do that, dog. As soon as you do that, it means you don't give two fucks about what happened to Kirk. Or anybody else for that matter. Because it's all the same.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't tone down the rhetoric. But apparently Matt Walsh disagrees. Let's hear why.
You're killing us in our churches. You tried to kill our president. You killed one of our greatest advocates in Charlie Kirk. You have been openly cheering for and celebrating and encouraging and committing political violence for years. Antifa, BLM. You made a hero out of Luigi Mangione. And you celebrate Charlie's death even now. It's too late to turn the temperature down. This is not a time to hold hands. It's a time for justice. This is a time for good to fight back
To be
against.
fair, see, he's addressing all this to the left, right? And that's not fair, bro. You know what I mean? And I've always focused on the evil, however that shit looks. Just happened to be from the left. You know what I mean? And, you know, the left get generalized being a certain way, man, because that is the emotionally driven side. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I've called out the fact that this makes the left look bad. I've called out the fact that this makes the trans look bad, and it's not good for them being aligned with them because people are crazy. We've been at the point where it's guilty by association. I already know that, bro, and that's dangerous. I mean, so if that's what if this is what Matt Walsh is applying, trying to attack the entire left, I mean, that's not a good look, bro, because the majority of the left do not support what the hell happened to Kirk. It's just that the demons, the degenerates, have the loudest voices because they choose to be the fucking loudest, and they do the most irate, obnoxious, disgusting things that are going to get the attention, bro. The nasty shit sells, bro. That's why they're in the forefront of everybody's mind, on everybody's fucking feed, bro. Just your regular, casual liberal that has their liberal views is not supporting what the fuck happened to Kirk. The majority. The minority is a large one, but the majority, hell no.
Evil. It is time for the righteous to prevail for the sake of our country and for our families and our children.
The righteous to prevail.
Facts.
You denouncing all this shit that happened and you said this is wrong, and then you advocate for this shit that happened.
Yeah.
Perpetrating the same thing over and over again. It's never gonna stop. It's never gonna stop. Maybe it's a sports mentality.
Fair.
my clique can do no wrong.
Yeah.
And will do no wrong. No, sometimes your clique
It's
does
crazy,
play.
bro. It's crazy. But they're definitely liberals, right? Clearly. Not used to seeing them so biased, bro. Especially in a situation like this, I'm assuming they're gonna have like the receipts to justify, or not even justify, just to prove certain things, bro. Usually they can be biased and objective, but this is a very liberal take on things. 'Cause that's not at all what I got from the clips that they showed me. Us versus them, our group is better. No, clearly our group is better than the fucking evil ones. Right? It's always gonna be a versus. Ain't no talking to them. Ain't no calming that shit down, bro. When you see it, you gotta call it out. You know what I mean? Be fire with fire, bro. That's why war is here, man. You can't be out here coddling, trying to be soft spoken and be cool with a motherfucker that want to kill you. Nah, bro, I'm gonna get you before you get me. This is what it is. Ain't no talking to these fucking devils. Come on now. On both sides, ain't no talking to them. Is it what it is?
Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked with hammers, and Donald Trump and his son were making fun of him after that attack.
And we'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi, who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know?
Or how about the fact that, a lot of the people...
It's a nice little jab. That's a nice little jab, bro. That's real, though. Solid receipt there, bro.
Or how about the fact that, a lot of the people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th were calling for Mike Pence to be hung.
I'm telling you, if Pence caved, we're going to drag through the streets. You politicians are going to get drugged through the streets. Yeah,
they've been radicalized, bro. Those are fucking radicals, dog. Those are fucking radicals, man.
I saw Asmongold say it was like 90% the left.
I think that in the last 5 years or so, especially since BLM, it's been a 90% left-wing thing. But that doesn't mean that the 10% right-wing people are right either.
And it's like, well, crime statistics disagree with you, and it says most of the political violence in this...
Look at that. Motivations carried out by the Anti-Defamation League. NGOs suggest that far-right perpetrators have committed the bulk of extremist-related murders, 76% over the past decade. But most right-wing... I need to fact check it though, but the majority of right wing murders are due to racism, right? Let me ask ChatGPT. What is it? Let's ask Chat. Which political party is responsible for the most extremist murders in the past decade? And list them. And list the most notorious ones, I guess. Even though they're all notorious. Short answer, U.S. data are tracked by ideology, not by party. Across roughly the last decade, far-right white supremacists and other right-wing extremists account for the clear majority of extremist-related killings in the U.S., with far smaller shares from Islamist extremists and very small shares from far-left actors. The pattern is consistent across multiple data sets. Makes sense. Notorious U.S. extreme killings, Charleston Church, South Carolina, white supremacists. Charlottesville car attack, right wing, one killed during Unite the Right rally. Tree of Life Synagogue, Pittsburgh, right wing, anti-Semitic, 11 killed. Poway, right wing, 1 killed, anti-Semitic. El Paso Walmart, right wing, white supremacist, 23 killed. Yeah, anti-Semitic. January 6th, U.S. Capitol, right wing, anti-government, multiple deaths tied to the event. Yeah. White supremacists, anti-LGBTQ, premium outlets, Allen premium outlets. Texas shooter with neo-Nazi imagery, 8 killed. Yeah, that makes sense. The white supremacists be getting active, boy. White power. White power. What I do with that video? Is it here?
Is committed by the right. That's what the stats say. So for people to come out after the fact and just make it sound like it's one-sided is just bizarre to me. And then also people looking into the shooter and they're like, oh, I think he might have had a trans girlfriend.
Yeah, trans roommate. What does that have to do with it?
Bro.
You can't just overlook that, bro. We can't ignore that, dog. Come on, man.
There were reports yesterday that we can confirm that his roommate was indeed a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female. That's information that the FBI had mentioned yesterday. We can confirm that as well, and that he is cooperating with authorities as well.
Come on, bro. This is wild coming from Abba, man. Bro was at the right and went to the left, even though I know that's still held with much contention, bro. But we can't just gloss over that, dog. I've never seen them be this biased.
The moment Charlie Kirk died, I saw Trump get on and he was just like, well, these radical left Marxists, so they're complaining about the fact that they call Nazis all the time. And what do they call everybody who's a radical left, Marxist, socialist, communist? It's like, okay, got it. Everybody does this kind of hyperbolic. If people don't like Charlie Kirk and want to acknowledge the fact that he had disgusting views, that's their right. And people try to cancel folks for that. I'm not with that at all. Okay, the guy did say some very disgusting things throughout his life. He said them very publicly, and people whitewashing him. I've heard people call him a good Christian boy. Maybe from your perspective, it's okay for people to have a different perspective. I certainly don't share the one where he's some good. I've heard him say some really so that's my personal opinion.
You had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped. And she was going to give birth and she would, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
It's but it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So
That's surprising, bro. Yeah, I'm shocked with this one, man. I've disclosed that video in its entirety, giving it context, bro. And I'm coming from Abba, who's the king of receipts, trying to convey a point, bro. And he intentionally shows you that clip, leaving out the context, dog. And you look at that snip, it looks hideous, man. But he gives his reasoning behind, regardless if you agree with his decisions, his reasoning behind it is stand up, bro. It didn't, this evil man is gonna force my 10-year-old daughter to do it. And I've already debunked a lot of these videos. And that's a video that I debunked, and I know Abba seen that entire video. So he's trying to paint a narrative, which is something that I'm very surprised and disappointed with Abba for, bro, because I usually can count on him having the receipts and being objective, bro, but this ain't it, bro. And I seen this one too. He's about to talk about, the starving kids or whatnot, man. Yeah, this is whack, bro. Damn, Abba. Damn, dog. This is eye-opening, homie. Eesh.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So
he cooked her the rest of that conversation, bro. He cooked her the rest of that conversation, man.
So that's insane.
Let me tell you why. No, hold on. Let me ask you a question. There's two ultrasounds I have. One is a baby conceived in, one is a baby conceived by a living couple. Which one is which?
Your daughter was probably hopefully conceived by a loving couple.
Tell me which one was conceived by.
You don't know.
Exactly, because it's all human rights.
But that doesn't matter. But it's about your daughter who has to give birth to it and is going to be tortured by that for the rest of her life. That's going to take away every freedom she's ever going to have. That's going to ruin her life. She's going to grow up and she's going to be attached to another thing.
The point is how you were conceived is irrelevant to what human rights you get. Hold on a second. If a person conceived and walks on the side of the street, it's not like they don't get First Amendment rights or Second Amendment rights.
It's not about that person.
The worst thing to do to the daughter is to then say, hey, we're going to go murder the being inside of you.
They wouldn't even know. Like, listen.
They wouldn't know.
Listen.
But wouldn't it be a better story to say something evil happened and we do something good in the face of evil instead of saying we're going to do evil and then murder the being because we're going to pander to the evil? No. What makes the West great is that we do good after evil, not evil after evil.
It's not about the being and the cell. It's not about. No. I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Thank you.
If you ain't seen it, go watch it, man. Go watch it. That's Jubilee. I'm not gonna get demonetized, but go watch it, bro. Regardless if you agree with him, bro. It's like that's terrible.
Do you think that there should be free school lunch for all children?
No.
Why?
Of course not. Because parents should feed their kids, not the government.
What if they can't?
Go get a job.
A child?
The parents should go get the job.
Yeah.
This is important. First of all, this is really.
I want children to eat.
Of course I do. Show me a single child in America going hungry. Doesn't exist. Number two, we have churches, we have food shelters, we have billions, and it does not exist. We have a child obesity problem, not a child starvation problem in this country.
How is that not true, bro? As much of welfare the government provides to, dog. If a motherfucker is and I'm sure So I'm speaking generally here. What he said was facts. We don't have a starvation problem in America. We have a obesity problem, right? If homeless or hungry, they can go get some fucking food, dog. Food stamps, bro. Man, I be surprised as fuck, jealous as hell when I be hearing about the amount of money the broke folks get on from fucking food stamps, dog. Be racking it up, bro. That's available to them, dog. And then charities and churches, bro. Like, there's literally no reason for a motherfucker to go starving unless your ass is just too you too stuck up to go get it, bro. And that makes no sense, dog. All right. We live in America, bro. It's a capitalist country, man. Like, that's his opinion, dog. What's evil about that? What's evil about that? The government should not be feeding kids in school. That's on the parents, right? That don't mean he's evil. How is that disgusting? How is that disgusting?
Not exist. We have a child obesity problem, not a child starvation problem in this country.
I mean, Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled Alzheimer's corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America.
I know we don't have a lot of time. There's so many good speakers tonight. This is a battle.
Those are the disgusting things he said. Yeah, man. Yeah. I definitely disagree with bro. I mean, he's entitled to his opinion. I'm just glad he's not out here dancing on Kirk's grave, spitting on it, talking shit, bro. He doesn't think too fondly of Kirk, bro. But manufacturing these narratives, dog. That's whack, bro. And he's part of the problem, bro. He's contributing to the problem. He's contributing to the degradation of Kirk's image, which is, if I was talking big shit about how disgusting Kirk is and the things he said, bro, I'd expect to see much more disgusting clips than that. You have all the receipts. I'm expecting to see some things I ain't seen before. It's gonna fucking shock me, bro. And that's it. That's all you had, bro. I can pull up worse snips than that paint Kirk is disgusting, but then you give him context and then you get it, right? But people already had their mind made up with Kirk any motherfucking way. I can show y'all what y'all need to see. Y'all not gonna rock with any motherfucking way because you already made up in your mind that he's fucking the enemy of the state. Anyway, man, that's whack.